feel me? Let's do this, come on.
And a little pregame speech for his guys right there, getting them focused and the task at hand really embraced. Welcome, everyone, to Indianapolis, Indiana. It's the home of the Pacers, where we will be broadcasting today's action live. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. And with Darren Williams on the floor, there's always excitement. So dynamic.
And he's someone the defense has to keep track of at all times because, you know, even when he doesn't have the ball, he moves so well without it. He's constantly a threat to catch and shoot.
And the other most noticeable thing about him to me is his passing. I mean, he makes things so easy for his teammates. All they have to do is get to the right spot on the floor, and he'll get it to him.
Just off a road trip, the Pacers are back at home. Still early in the season, but the front office and coaching staff likes what they are seeing from this team so far. Better winning percentage than last year.
Kevin, they're in the midst of a really impressive stretch right now, and I'm not sure if they can maintain it, but they ought to ride this momentum as long as they can.
Well, you're not alone, Clark. I'm not sure they can keep this thing going, and I think a lot of people would agree with us. But, you know, the longer they go on like this, maybe the more momentum they'll build, maybe they can break through and have a great year.
Here's Dimes following the score by Indiana, and that one's good by Aldridge.
Just the shot they wanted, point-blank range.
And so here is Indiana. And this game, the first chance they've had to see Portland.
These two teams are effectively strangers to each other. Only 2 meetings all season. This is their first one, and then they'll play one more down the road.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give them 2 chances at the free throw line here. So, Clark, as Steve was saying, they don't see each other that much. What does that mean as you analyze it to the approach that a team takes coming into a game like this?
Well, you know what? It probably means they don't have specific game plans tailored in a detailed manner for each other, so you have to go back to your general principles a little more when you play an opponent you're not as familiar with. And you also then would have to make more adjustments on the fly, I would think. Crisp pass into the paint.
Last outing for Indiana. They won that game against the Bulls in Chicago.
And if you look at their numbers in that game, what jumps out most is the balance offensively. They really spread the wealth.
And they were on fire in all areas. That was a very satisfying road win.
Shot clock at 5. Here's Calderon. Misses off the left iron.
You just assume he's going to knock those down when he's as open as he was there.
Batum with the ball. Now guarded by Calderon. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. The Trailblazers shooting their first free throws of this one.
Well, last year collectively, I mean, this team shot 74% from the free throw, a pretty low number.
And I know the free throw shooting is an area they focused on improving coming into this season.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Well, guys, the head coach for the Portland Trailblazers gave me just a couple of minutes. We talked about David West and what makes him such a tough player to defend. Coach said, West is special because he's so skilled for a player of his size and strength. He can score inside and also spread the floor with his shooting. He can have a quiet night and still drop 20 and 10. So we've got to stay conscious of him at all times. Guys, we'll see how they do against him.
Thanks a lot, Doris. Here's Dimes. 26 points for him last game against the Kings in Sacramento. Robinson passes to Dimes. Defended by George. The Trailblazers need to get off a shot. And that one's good by Aldridge.
So nice to have a guy like that who can take charge at any time.
Yeah, so many of his passes, Steve, have led directly to baskets.
Now here's Calderon. The feed to Hibbert. Leads him in there. Danny Granger, the bucket on the assist from Roy Hibbert.
Broke out the finger roll, guys. That was kind of a stylish finish.
The Trailblazers have gone 4 of 4 to start, so a nice offensive rhythm to start here. Here's Dimes, defended by George. Here's Dimes. Robinson. The rebound by Paul George. Here's Granger, rejected by Batum, and out of bounds as the Trailblazers gain possession. Let's pause to take a look at the teams that were tops in field goal percentage last season. Number 1, the Trailblazers.
Kevin, no team
Here's Dimes. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Dishes it to Claver. Passes it to Dimes. From outside, off the mark. Pacers trail by 4. On the court right now for the Trailblazers. Dimes, he's in a shooting guard. Batuma's out there with Victor Claver. And there's Darren Williams. And it's Aldridge in at the center, filling out the middle. Granger for the 3. Good. Granger's got 7 points.
No confusion defensively.
Yeah, you know what? He sent the D a little message with that 3.
And there's the pass to Dimes. Into LaMarcus Aldridge. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
How did he get that to go?
Even after the whistle, I like the awareness, the alertness, and the presence of mind to finish the play.
David West, he's checked in for Indiana. Calderon dishes to West. Six on the shot clock. He kicks it to Granger. Lets it go from 11. The shot is off.
Great close out there, forcing the errant shot.
Well, he made it a tough shot again. He didn't give up on it, and he got a hand up.
And a chance to look at some of the numbers for Jose Calderon. Last season's stats for him, 4th in free throw percentage. And he also finished in the top 20 in assists. So this is a guy who really did a nice job of sharing the ball with his teammates.
Yeah, and you talked about it, Steve, what a stellar season it was for him at the stripe. I mean, they are freebies. They're called free for a reason, and he certainly made that come true because he knocked them down at a high rate.
Here's Dimes, defended by George. And here we go. Calderon heading to the hoop. It's good. This game is all even.
Good aggressive finish on the break.
That's as easy a 2 points as you could ask for.
Pass to Dimes. Robinson, that's good. Robinson's got 7 points.
Perseverance paying off on the offensive boards, guys.
And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Calderon kicks to George. Gets it to go. George has got his second basket.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
Well, it's become one of the stories of the first half, Clark, just piling up points in the paint.
There's a screen by Robinson. To the paint, off the pick. And a beautiful feed leads to a monster jam.
Well, I tell you what, it was the good pick that was set that turned him loose.
And once he got around it, Steve, it was smooth sailing right to the hole.
Well, because of the pick, he had plenty of room. That's why he was able to power down that slam.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Dimes in their last game against the Kings was superb. He dropped in 26 points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. A dominating outing by him where he showed once again why he is a star in the NBA and why we love watching him, Kevin.
Appreciate it, Doris. Thanks. Well, we've seen a lot of great players, have a lot of great games, but that Clark was something special.
Kevin, it really was. I mean, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at him, and nothing slowed him down.
But let's just say he was really good.
Backing down is Mahinmi. The shot, no good. Some solid defense from Leonard. Great offensive performance they're putting on.
You see the benefit of knocking down baskets consecutively because it leads to the confidence growing and growing, doesn't it, Steve?
It sure does, and now it's to the point where they just feel unstoppable.
A different look now for Portland.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Hey everyone, I'm Damon Bruce.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. Really an incredible game from McCollum.
He went off in the first 2 quarters, guys, as he's capable of doing. We might see some changes here in the defensive approach they use on him in the second half.
Yeah, they've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him like he has been.
George and Granger on the perimeter. Down low, West and Hibbert. And it's Calderon in at the point guard. So that's the group out there for Indiana.
Yeah, the referee is all over that one.
No doubt about it. Clearly a foul. Nothing to argue about there.
Pacers have been solid at the line so far. 4 for 4.
Yeah, basically a middle-of-the-road type free throw shooting team, about 76% a year ago. Boy, that was solid. I tell you, he's one of the best there is up there at the foul line.
Dimes the pass to Robinson. Paul George with the steal. A finish. It's down the breakaway slam.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
Guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Can you hear the crowd kind of murmuring? I don't think they agreed with the officials on that one.
Steve, I tell you what, they're really letting them have it.
Calderon against Williams. Granger outside. 6 to shoot. Back to Calderon. Baseline try. Here's George. And he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket. George has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Boy, the D has to show a little more fight on the interior than they did on that trip. They've got a battle inside.
Well, this game has been tough, Clark. I mean, they're getting after it. I think they're starting to run a little bit low on energy, possibly.
Here's Dimes. It's rebounded by Roy Hibbert. Looking at Portland, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Kings.
And what stands out from that game, Clark, is that they let a lot of points slip through their fingers at the free throw line.
Yep, and I think some doubt started to creep in as well when they kept missing their foul shots. Guys seem to tighten up and start alligator arming those things.
The Trailblazers have knocked down 8 of 9 free throw attempts. I'd say those numbers read pretty well. He's off on the second. Indiana leading. They'll host the Denver Nuggets after this one. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home. Calderon dishes to George. That falls. Nice steal this time from Jose Calderon. 11 points for Paul George. Here's Dimes. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change.
Guys, he shot a very good percentage today, and they've needed it.
Timeout called the Pacers. And at this point of the game, always important to stay focused. And while the coach goes over the game plan, these players are getting a much-needed chance to rehydrate and refuel with Gatorade. And guys, we know the drill well, all 3 of us drinking the Gatorade too.
Yeah, right. I mean, Kevin, people have no idea the fatigue that can set in during a telecast. And so it's important for us to stay hydrated all game long.
Clark, you're always hydrated.
Yeah, I try to be, but it's usually with a combination of H2O and Gatorade.
I love Gatorade. Look at Steve, got the Gatorade shirt on.
Yeah, he's really immersed in the Gatorade.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Robinson, a screen on George. Dimes the pass to Robinson. Aldridge. And that one's good. Aldridge has got 9 points.
Well, the number one priority for a defense when you face this guy is to keep him getting anywhere from the basket because he's just so strong as a finisher.
And something else he has is an array of moves in the paint. You can make a training video for young players to figure out how to play down low in terms of how he gets it done inside.
And Portland making a change here. Mahinmi kicks to Brooks. He passes to Mahinmi. Shot clock at 6. George. Can't get it to go. Great tee that time from Batum. On the wing, Batum. And he misses the go-ahead basket. Indiana's gone 4 of 8 tonight from three-point land, shooting 50% on the free ball here. Heinrich off a pick from Mahimi. Pass to Granger. From deep. Good, and Heinrich gets the assist. And 12 points for Danny Granger.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Passes to Dimes. Brooks covering. High, arcing shot. And the basket is good. And one thing I was going to mention tonight was to see if either of you watched the press conference after their last game.
Yeah, I watched it, guys, and I'll tell you what, he might be by himself at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's way too early for a workout. But I do like his work ethic. I like his thoughts on, continuing to work hard and getting his teammates to join him. I think he's a good leader. But 5 a.m., too early.
Indiana needs to get a shot off. Three-pointer, Granger. Offensive rebound. George dishes to Mahimi. Kicks it out to Granger. He feeds it to George. Back to Granger. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Now the pass to George. He dishes it to Heinrich. Outside, George. Hands it from downtown. George has got 10 points here in the second half.
The switch has definitely been flipped to on this quarter, guys.
Dimes, Brooks covering. Here's Dimes. Buries it down low. And that's 11 points for LaMarcus Aldridge.
I think when you've got somebody that open on the perimeter, a good shooter, the kick-out's the only choice.
Heinrich against Williams. The three from George. And Indiana, another three.
I wasn't so sure he could get it turned around after that poor first half, but he's got it rolling here a little bit in the second.
Here's Dimes. Brooks covering. Dimes. And the layup's good off the glass. Dimes got 4 points in the quarter.
He really made that mismatch pay off. A defender giving up that much size isn't going to be able to put up much resistance near the basket.
The try by Granger. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. That is good.
Well, I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
Here's Dimes. Misses the three. Here's Heinrich. Can't get it to go. Shots continuing to fall as we conclude the third quarter. And thanks for joining us again as the fourth quarter of play is set to get rolling. It's been a close battle to this point. And a look now at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Pacers.
So one of the big stories has been the three ball. It's been a key part of their offense throughout the game.
And then look at the points in the paint because they're really winning that battle tonight.
On the floor for Portland, the forwards are Batum and Thomas Robinson. Patrick Beverly out there with Dimes. And it's Aldridge in at the 5 spot. Here's George. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. George has got 19 points.
Well, it's been a tale of two halves, hasn't it, guys? After a terrible first half, he's really picking it up.
Robinson a screen on George. Dimes the pass to Robinson. The timely screen gave him a step, but he took it all the way.
These defenders are not putting up much of a fight on the interior. It's been embarrassing. That's 10 consecutive points allowed in the lane.
And that's not the kind of streak you want to have if you're playing defense.
Calderon with it. Back to Hibbert. George. Goes up again, and it's good. Walk through contact, hits the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Did you see the defense get caught standing around that time, giving up an easy second chance bucket?
Simply need more of an effort on the boards there, Steve.
Danny Granger, he's checked in for Hill. Feeds to Aldridge. Pass to Dimes. Launches it. Pacers with the rebound.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Yes, I had a chance to find out what the Trailblazers head coach was going over with his guys. He wants them to pick it up and really go for it right now, saying, no time like the present, gentlemen. Embrace it. Embrace the spotlight, and let's make it happen. Kevin, let's see what they can do.
Now, here's Calderon. West outside. Kicks it to Granger. Defended by Batum. Now George somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. George has got 21.
Tell you what, he's been zeroed in on the hoop all quarter long, making big shots.
Aldridge with a screen on George. Passes it to Dimes. A free ball. It's rebounded by Indiana. West has got 3 rebounds now in this one.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
And George kicks to Granger. Off target with his 3. Trailblazers trail by 6. Dimes, the pass to Batum. Another shot. Yes! And the foul. That one on George.
I think they've got to keep getting him the ball. When he's going like that, he's in the zone right now. Perfect from the field. You've got to continue to milk the hot hand.
The Trailblazers making a switch here. Williams is checked in. Pacers leading by 3. And here's Calderon. Granger outside. It is now to Hibbert. Aldridge on him. And it's Hibbert missing. For Portland, they've gone 4 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the 4th. No good from Dimes. Blazers have gone 3 of 6 from the field so far in the 4th quarter. And there's the feed to Calderon. Dishes it to Granger. Granger can't get that one to fall.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to knock down. Rising high to throw that one down.
Sky high. Fantastic one-hand jam.
Yeah, what a way to wrap up that possession.
Williams against Calderon. Granger. Another miss by Granger.
Boy, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down. You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
Calderon with it. Williams picks him up. Calderon dishes to George. That falls. Nice speed this time from Jose Calderon. Calderon's got 3 assists tonight. Trailblazers trail by 4. Robinson a screen on George. Robinson inside. Paul George with the steal. Now the Blazers moving it up. Here's Granger. No good. Now Portland takes it the other way.
And it seems like nothing is falling for him this quarter. He's really out of his rhythm.
Dimes the pass to Robinson. Here's Dimes. Banked in off the glass.
Boy, the deeper we get into this game, the more offense we're seeing.
And that goes for both teams, Steve. Everybody's firing on all cylinders right now.
Calderon against Williams. And George, here we go. Gets the bucket. Trailblazers trail by 4. Williams passes to Dimes. 1:11 left in the 4th quarter. Lays it up and banks it in.
That was the 3rd straight high percentage look this defense has allowed. I mean, these defenders have got to start bumping bodies in the paint. Be more physical. Be more aggressive.
I agree, Clark, but it doesn't look like they have the will to do that at this moment. Boy, I'm shocked he didn't make that one. He usually knocks that one down with ease.
Back to Williams. Out of bounds. Indiana takes possession.
Oh, that certainly could be costly. In a close one, those kinds of mistakes can really give the other team momentum.
Indiana's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the 4th. Granger outside. Back to Calderon. There's 37 seconds left in the 4th quarter. And George kicks to Hibbert. And the officials call goaltending, so they'll award the basket.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Portland's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. There's a screen by Robinson. Down low. And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now. Again and again, they're not in the penalty yet.
Yeah, you got to freeze the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
A few misses at the line, and they're in good shape.
There's 21 seconds left to play here in the fourth. And an intentional foul right there. First free throw is good, and that puts them up by 5. And so he drops them both. It's a 6-point ball game.
And no mistakes there. A couple of good free throws to give them a little extra cushion.
The pass to Dimes. The shot. Off the left ring and out. And they go to the intentional foul. It's the first. That makes it a 7-point lead. An almost entirely new group here for Portland. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line. And it's an 8-point game. For the 3. Trailblazers keep it alive. From deep. Nails the triple.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
And now we've got the intentional foul. So the first one drops, and that increases their lead to 6. An almost entirely new group here for Portland.